The desert had a way of stripping a man down to the truth. Out here, under a sun that felt like it was burning holes straight through the earth, there was no room for lies, pride, or hesitation. A man either acted with heart, or he didn't act at all. And on this particular day, the man who would become the center of an unbelievable Wild West story was a quiet cowboy named Cole Branson. Before we begin, welcome back to the channel. Pull up a saddle, settle in, and enjoy another tale carved from the dust, danger, and raw emotion of the frontier. Today's story is one nobody in the territory ever forgot. Cole was riding near Redstone Ridge, his horse's hooves kicking up trails of powdered sand as he moved slowly across the scorching desert. He wasn't looking for trouble, he wasn't looking for company, he wasn't even looking for gold. He was just searching for a place where the silence didn't weigh so heavy on him after years of wandering alone. But trouble, or fate, depending on how you see it, found him first. Just past a dry riverbed, Cole spotted movement. 3 figures stumbling, swaying, barely able to stand. At first, he thought they were drunk miners or lost settlers. But as he rode closer, he realized the truth. 3 Apache men, young, exhausted, and dying of thirst. Their lips were cracked, bleeding from the heat. Their eyes were sunken, their steps uneven. They had been wandering the desert for far too long. Cole knew what most cowboys would have done. They would have turned around. Or worse, reached for the rifle slung across their saddle. Times were tense, and fear made men cruel. But Cole Branson wasn't like most cowboys. He jumped off his horse and reached into his saddlebag, pulling out the last of his water. It wasn't much, barely enough for one man. But he split it anyway, lowering the canteen to the first Apache's lips. The man drank slow, too weak to speak. The second man took it with trembling hands, nodding at Cole with tired gratitude. The third hesitated. He looked at Cole, then at the canteen, then back at Cole again, as if trying to understand why a stranger who owed him nothing would offer help. When he finally drank, tears rolled down his cheeks. Cole didn't ask questions. He didn't expect thanks. He simply said, "You boys head north. Shade not far from here. You'll make it if you move slow." The 3 Apaches stared at him with an intensity that made Cole shift his boots in the sand. But they said nothing. They simply bowed their heads and walked away. Cole mounted his horse and rode toward his small ranch, thinking the event was already behind him. He didn't know this single act of kindness was about to change his entire life. Days passed. The sky shifted from punishing heat to stormy winds. Cole spent most of his time tending cattle and repairing the fence that always seemed to fall apart at the worst times. The desert was quiet again, just the way it usually was. And then, one evening, while Cole was in his barn sharpening tools, he heard something strange. A sound he didn't recognize. Not cattle. Not settlers. Not cowboys. It sounded like singing. Soft, rhythmic, hauntingly beautiful voices carried on the wind. Cole stepped outside and froze. Walking toward his ranch, evenly, gracefully, like an approaching wave, were 25 Apache women. Not 5. Not 10. 25. Their dresses flowed with desert colors, reds, bronzes, deep golds. Their hair was braided with feathers. Their faces were solemn, strong, and serious. And each woman carried something: blankets, food, pottery, weapons, jewelry. A peaceful procession, walking straight toward one lone cowboy. When they reached the front gate, they stopped as one. The eldest among them stepped forward. Her hair was long, streaked with silver, and her eyes held the weight of storms and stories a million years old. "You are Cole Branson," she said. He swallowed. "That's me. You saved our sons." Cole blinked. "Sons?" She raised her chin. "3 young warriors, my son, and the sons of 2 of my sisters. They told us what you did. They told us you gave them what your own life needed. Water is life in the desert. Cole rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. Ah, ma'am, anyone would have done the same. The women exchanged glances. Some smiled faintly. Some shook their heads knowingly. No, the elder said. Not anyone. Behind her, the women lifted what they were carrying and placed everything at Cole's feet, gifts, offerings, supplies worth months of trade. Cole stepped back, confused. What's all this? The elder took a deep breath. According to our ways, a man who saves one of our sons becomes a friend to our tribe. But a man who saves 3. Her voice softened. He becomes family. Cole's heart stuttered. Family? With 25 Apache women standing in his yard? He raised his hands. Ladies. I appreciate the gesture, truly, but I don't. He stopped when he noticed something. The younger women were staring at him. Not out of anger. Not out of fear. Out of consideration. The elder smiled. In our tribe, when a man saves 3 warriors, he must be repaid with protection, friendship, and options. Options? Cole repeated, puzzled. A ripple of soft laughter passed through the women. The elder gestured around her. 25 women have come to your ranch to honor you. Some are widows. Some are single. Some simply wished to see the man who saved their sons and brothers. Cole felt his face heat under the setting sun. Ma'am, I hope you're not saying. Some have come, she said firmly. To see if the man who gave water from his heart would take one of them as a companion. Cole nearly dropped the hammer he'd been holding. The women weren't shy about it either. A few stepped closer, curious, confident, bold. One touched the brim of his hat. Another inspected his boots. Another whispered something and giggled. Cole stumbled backward. Ladies, please. I ain't looking for a wife. The elder nodded calmly. We do not force bonds. But we honor bravery. You saved our sons. So we shall stay, for 3 days. After that, if none chooses to remain, we will leave. Cole's mind spun. 25 Apache women camping on his land? Cooking, singing, dancing, watching him fix fences and brush horses? It was unreal. But that night, as stars filled the sky, the women set up a peaceful camp just outside his ranch. They cooked for him. They thanked him. They sang late into the night, voices floating like wind spirits under the moon. Cole sat quietly by the fire, trying to keep his nerves steady. He had spent years alone, and now 25 pairs of eyes kept drifting toward him. By the second day, something unexpected happened. Cole began to relax. He found himself laughing with them. Eating with them. Learning words in their language. Helping carry firewood. Listening to stories about the 3 young warriors he saved. And one woman, in particular, caught his attention. Her name was Nayeli. She was younger than most, with long hair braided in red ribbons and a scar on her arm from a wolf bite. She wasn't bold like the others. She didn't approach him directly. Instead, she watched him from a distance, quiet, shy, gentle. On the morning of the 3rd day, she approached him as he was feeding the horses. She handed him a small carved wooden token shaped like a river. This is a gift? Cole asked. She nodded. You gave water to my brother. Without you, he would have died. My family would have died with him. This is to remind you, your kindness flows far. Cole looked into her eyes and felt something shift inside him. Something warm. Something peaceful. Nayeli wasn't there for attention. She wasn't there because others pushed her. She was there because, quietly, without asking anything back, she wanted to stay near him. Cole didn't speak for a moment. He just held the carved river and let the silence breathe around them. When the final day arrived, the elder stood before Cole again. "Our time here ends. But I must ask, has one of our daughters touched your heart?" Cole looked at the 25 women standing before him. They smiled, some hopeful, some amused. But his eyes found only one. He stepped forward and spoke softly. "If she's willin', I'd like to ask Nayeli to stay." The women cheered. Nayeli's cheeks turned warm with color. The elder nodded with deep approval. "Then it is decided. She stays by choice. Not by tradition." The others embraced Cole one last time, thanked him, and left in a long line of color, songs, and desert dust. When they were gone, the ranch felt quieter, but not empty. Nayeli stood beside Cole, her hand gently touching his. "You saved lives," she whispered. "Now I will help you live yours." Cole smiled, for the first time in years feeling something he thought he'd lost. Belonging. And that, folks, is how a lonely cowboy who gave water to 3 strangers ended up with a companion he never expected, and a story the West still whispers about today. If you enjoyed this tale, stay close. More stories are waiting just beyond the next ridge. The frontier always has another secret to share.